So let's go over a step-by-step example. I've actually changed the name of the guy in here that I helped out regarding this, but the situation is the same, and it's probably a lot of the same situations you've all been in. Well, Paul and Julie recently broke up, and Paul has to go over to Julie's place to do the traditional picking up of stuff. Well, he's got to get his Xbox, so he does have to go. He's not just going to leave it there. I know some of you have gone through that, and you're like, no, what, keep the sweatshirt, keep that crap. I don't want to see you again. So what happened in this situation specifically is she met him out on the sidewalk, and they shook hands. Boom. Phase 1 done. She actually picked up on this real quickly. And as they walked in, he ended up putting his hand on the small of her back, not her ass, not her shoulders, just on the back. Just that nice sweet spot there, and guided her in the door. She allowed him. Didn't really, nothing bad happened. She didn't give him any negative feedback or nothing. And then finally, this is kind of the slick part that he told me about. Said as she was handing him the Xbox, her hair got in her face. Well, her hands were already preoccupied and couldn't do anything, so he just leaned in and moved her hair back behind her ear and took the Xbox from her. And, he had already gotten to that phase, and he was jumping for joy when he came out of it because he knew that he had already reconnected and that he just had to put in a little bit more effort, and he'd be able to rekindle that romantic relationship and get out of the platonic phase and out of the breakup, because she obviously was still into him if she was going to allow him to go to such a far bonding phase. And I just want you to know that about 80% of all the cases run like this. Only 20% are a little bit harder. You do have to calibrate a little bit more. It is that easy. But for you naysayers, here you are. I put together the same situation, a little bit more complex, to chunk down just a little bit more, give you a couple more little insights and tools and examples to go with, so that you actually have the ability to, in case you do need to change it up a little bit, you can. Well, we have the same situation with Paul and Julie, except for at this point, they meet at the door. So at that point, he sticks out his hand to shake it, and this is where it comes into play why I love the handshake so much, is that if she doesn't do that, you just kind of keep your hand out, and because we're so socially programmed to shake somebody's hand, you're going to win every time with this one. If you just keep it out, she's going to be forced, because of her social programming and what I was talking about, the social mores, that she's going to eventually just have to put her hand out there and shake your hand because it's going to weird her out so much. And at that point, you've already, like I said, you've already reconnected on that level. If she gives you any kind of weirdness about it, you can just brush it off. So you automatically, like I said, the handshake is almost a guaranteed. You can get hand to hand. And if she rejects you at that point, like I said, you're going to have to put a little bit more work in, but this is obviously, you can always reconnect on this level. Next, you can pick something off of her imaginarily. Like, so if she, isn't getting very close, be like, look at her and give her just kind of a weird face, and go and pick something off her. Be like, I thought I saw a dead spider or something. Girls hate bugs most of the time, so they will definitely appreciate that, and you'll usually get a thank you out of her at the very least on this level. And like I said, you'll have escalated, and she feels comfortable enough for you to touch her on the body so that you can actually then, in fact, continue to move on. And just one more thing, I want to jump back to the handshake, about why I like it. If she gives you a specific, like if you put your hand out and she's like a little bit weirded out to shake your hand, and you'll know what I'm talking about when this happens, she would have been more interested to give you a hug right off the bat. Then you can immediately jump to the third step, which is hand to face, because she already feels comfortable enough with you to shake your hand that it weirded her out that you wanted to shake her hand. So that's where you're going to want to be at with that. Next, the last phase here in our little more of accumulated example to kind of chunk down a little bit more for you is I want you to wipe her dimple clean, the old Auntie M type thing, and then accuse her of being a slob if she doesn't. So if she's not really getting close to you or anything like that, you want to, these are almost like the sniper ones where you're back a little bit farther and you're like, hey, what's that? And then you go up and you move that, just don't move your head, and you wipe it off of her and, like, again, accuse her of being a slob and that sort of thing. She'll, like I said, she'll let you do it. Well, here we are. I just wanted to tell you, nothing's free, sucker. So you have homework at this point. This isn't a completely free video. You do have to take action regarding this to get it to work. You just can't intellectualize things. You actually have to practice them and then implement them. The speed of implementation is, very correlated to the amount of success you have. So the faster you work on this and make it more ingrained and you're able to use this, the more likely you are to be successful with it. So I just have 3 quick exercises that you can do in the matter of probably about 15 minutes, and you should practice. I do it once a day and then do it. First is just practice making common emotional expressions in the mirror. This is going to allow you to actually pinpoint the muscles and work on them in your face so that you can actually change and become consciously aware of your body language. Because your face is often the one, like if you're smiling, there was a joke, there's something that precedes it all the time. But you want to be in complete conscious control of your expressions. Because even if you have emotional turmoil inside, you can then put on a smile. Or, if something shouldn't be appropriate and you normally would laugh, you can then, again, give the proper response and calibrate your situation. Next, I want you to think for yourself and rehearse in your head. Just run things through your brain on each level. I want you to pick one of the examples I gave you and run it through in your head and visualize and rehearse it. There's countless examples of how this works. Tony Robbins, the great self-help guru of the 80s, says he's worked with tons of athletes and things that are breaking down, that just need to get their throwback or their swing or whatever it is. This is a key point. You can actually take strokes off your golf stroke and all that just by using visualizations. So it's a very powerful technique because your mind then rehearses it and it builds up the neural pathways to allow you to more easily do it and more congruently do it. And then the next phase of that, just kind of bringing it to the next level, is actually practicing it. I would do this when you're by yourself. I'll just give you one quick example of how this actually has worked in the real world. Championship wrestlers, and these are Olympic wrestlers. This isn't the WWE stuff that you'll watch on cable. The actual championship wrestlers use a technique called shadow wrestling, or shadow boxers also do that, and they practice as if they're actually there. They get into the mind step with stage 2 that you did here and actually go through the motions. If you do that, you're actually going to build up the muscle memory, as well as, like I said, the neurons in your brain are going to have fired on this level already, so you're going to be able to do it congruently, and you're not going to come off as creepy or anything like that. Well, everyone, that's the conclusion of the Breakup Barometer. I just want to thank you for taking the time and watching our short video here, and more importantly, for taking the time to invest in yourself and your relationship. If you're looking for other great information regarding how to get back together with your ex, take a look at our free website. It's www.getherbackforgood.com. We've got an excellent newsletter. We often have expert articles, and we've got other great videos there for you to take a look at to help you along your way and expedite getting back together. Thank you again.